Good morning, everyone. It is a very cloudless and warm morning here so far. We are in central Georgia getting ready to do some road cruising today. Really hoping to see a pine snake today or a diamondback. Those are the two big things I'd like to see, but there's always plenty of cool bycatch down here. And it should be pretty snaky today. It's going to be pretty good weather, I think, especially once the cloud cover starts to roll in, which, assuming it ever does roll in. But yeah, the sun is just now starting to get above the trees, and we're going to start driving dirt roads looking for snakes. There is our first snake of the day, and it could not be much better. That is a beautiful, beautiful adult mole king. Oh my goodness. That is amazing. What a weird first snake of the day on this hot morning. That's about the last thing I would have ever expected. Thought it was going to be a pine snake when we were driving up on it because it's so big. So this beautiful snake is one of the last things I would expect on a morning as hot as this morning. I mean, we have not seen anything yet. Granted, we haven't been out here too long, but that is a gigantic mole king. We really do not see them that big often at all. And this is my first one from this particular region of Georgia. And it's taken many, many years of looking to find one, but I mean, it was worth it for this big girl. Just look at that. Look at the iridescence of this snake. I'm not the most traditionally beautiful snake, and a lot of mole kings aren't. They're typically more drab kingsnake, but they're just so subtly awesome, so unique. And they have such cool faces and such cool personalities. They're so laid back. The snake barely mussed, hasn't even thought about biting. It's just amazing. Really, really cool. Other than maybe a pine snake, I cannot think of a better way to start the day than that. So awesome. What a fantastic and beautiful snake. But it's getting hot fast. We're probably on a pretty short timer this morning, so we're gonna get some quick photos of this girl and let her go. But just stunning, perfect way to start the day here. It's actually Memorial Day. So Memorial Day has always historically been a great time to be snake hunting in Georgia, and today is gonna be no exception, I hope. Well, our second snake of the day is just about as weird as the first, but not quite as weird as the last Tantilla we day cruised. We found one of these guys a couple weeks ago that was just out in the middle of the day, in the heat of the day. It was like 85 degrees and he was just crossing the road. But this guy actually seems to be in a pretty comfortable spot here. It's nice and shaded right here, although it is pretty hot in the sun. Where he's sitting feels nice and cool. But really weird to see not only one, but two of these guys during the daytime this year just chilling out on the road. Really, really unusual. And there is our next snake of the day, a big adult southern hognose snake. That is fantastic. I'm going to take some pictures and then we'll get a closer look at this guy. Look at that. That is a beautiful snake. Super big, super healthy. And really faded, nice and light coloration. One of the more light colored Simus I have seen. Just absolutely perfect. Oh, she's getting a little grumpy. What a great morning so far. It's definitely heating up, but how can you complain about a Simus and a mole king like that? That is so perfect. What a great day we're having. All right, as usual, we're gonna make sure she gets out of the road safely. And we're gonna keep cruising. Snakes are moving in good numbers, it seems, and we're finding lots of good stuff. So we're gonna keep at it and hope for that pine snake next. All right, stay out of the road, beautiful. Stay away from those cars. The last thing we need is another one of y'all getting run over. What an awesome snake. Fantastic morning so far, and it's still pretty early, so we're gonna keep at it. And about 10 minutes later, there is Simus number 2 for the day. Look at that. So this snake came across the road. You can see his track here. Tried to go up the embankment. If you'll recall, the last Simus we found couldn't get up the embankment. And he turned around and now he's going back across the road. This might actually be one of the biggest Simus I've ever seen. This thing is huge. Look at that. Gigantic. Super. This is also a female, looks like. They normally have big, obvious tails when they're males. And I think both of the ones we've seen this morning have been girls. But what an awesome snake. Snakes are out like crazy though, so as usual, we're just gonna scoot her across in the direction she was initially heading since she couldn't get up that embankment. And we're gonna keep cruising. taking her time.
Well, like it's hot. Give me a break.
Go on. Someone's gonna eat you if you don't go. So well camouflaged with the leaf litter here too. It'd be pretty hard to see one if it was just sitting coiled under the grass. The relaxed disposition went out the window very suddenly. But she's off the road, so we're just gonna leave her there and keep moving. Alright guys, so we stopped for a snake track here. You can see he went this way, and it's definitely a Simus. You can see where he struggled to get up the embankment, as they do. And then he went back this way. And we've been doing tight passes, so we know this snake hasn't been off the road too long. Walked over here, and my dad spotted him right there. So that is an in situ Simus in habitat. Not something you get to see very often. Really, really cool. Third one of the day. Well, there is our third Simus of the day. Stretched out in habitat after trying to cross the road, turning around and giving up and coming back over here. Really, really cool. So many snakes out today. We've also lost a coach whip off the road since I saw you guys last, so it's warming up to the point that those guys are out crawling around. And evidently, so are the Simus, so we're gonna keep at it. Hopefully we'll be able to turn up some more stuff before it gets too hot, which it definitely will at some point today at this rate, because bluebird skies, not normally the best conditions to be out herping, but for whatever reason today, it is perfect. And we are finding tons of snakes. So, third southern hognose snake of the day. We're not gonna mess with this guy at all. All right, everyone, it is the afternoon. After we found that last Simus, we pretty much gave up because it started to get super hot, super fast. And we knew we didn't really have much of a chance of seeing too much while it was 90 degrees. It was a very hot day today, one of the hottest we've had this year. Frankly, I'm surprised we did as well as we did this morning. It was kind of unbelievable. But hey, what a fantastic way to spend Memorial Day. And I'm back out here closer to home right now, hoping to see some stuff this evening. We've got some rain moving in. You can see it's kind of cloudy. But I'm gonna cruise until it starts raining, and if it doesn't start raining, I'll do some night cruising too. So, we'll see how this goes. Well, that didn't last long. It is beginning to storm, and I did not do a complete pass. I only did about a half of a pass before it started raining, so. Good evening, everyone. I'm getting ready to start my road cruise, but spotted this man foraging on the side of the road. The ever-present 9-banded armadillo. Not native to this part of Georgia, but not particularly detrimental either, from what I understand. And they create these nice big burrows that big snakes can use to hibernate in. Even if they do eat a couple of tiny snakes here and there, I don't think they're causing too much damage to snakes, but really cool animals either way. We see them all the time while we're out road cruising. But I'm gonna get back to it. Hopefully there will be some snakes out tonight. Oh, he's standing up. What? That was weird. Anyways, I'm out here in my usual local area today, really trying to just road cruise a couple of snakes out here. The night cruising has been really slow this year, at least at this spot. It's been really good in other areas, but my usual area has been pretty much completely unproductive, aside from one night where we saw a couple of really common species. But tonight seems like it's going to be pretty ideal weather, so we're going to go see what we can turn up. That is a very fresh little fawn whose mom just left her sitting there on the side of the road. Go on. Your mama went that way. Look how small that thing is. Well, that right there is a lovely sight. We're gonna get this guy out of the road before this car can smash him. But there's a big rat snake right here. Look at that. He's beautiful too. Oh my goodness. What's up, dude? You gonna be a grumpy rat? Oh, wow. You're beautiful. This guy has a great gray rat look to him. Not quite as dark as a lot of the ones we see around here. Quite heavily patterned. And so far has been quite gentle. No effort to bite. He's huffed up nicely, showing us all that white coloration in between the scales. But has not yet offered to bite or musk. Really, really cool. If you'll recall, I think it was in the last episode or the episode before, we saw a couple of very big, also quite docile rat snakes out here. Really cool to see. This thing is so tame, it's crazy. Doesn't seem concerned at all about me handling him. But we're just gonna walk him over here in the direction he was heading. See if he wants to go down? I'm wearing my swimsuit still. I just got out of the pool before I started to cruise. Away from the road. Off he goes. All right, let's see what else is out. All right, a few minutes later, we have our next snake, and it is looking to be another rat snake. Sure enough, juvenile this time, or at least young one. Not a baby, but not an adult either. This is the size of rat snake that it tends to be kind of uncommon. We see a lot smaller than this guy, and we see a lot bigger than this guy, but not too often we see them this size, so kind of interesting. But this guy's not quite as impressive as the last one, so we're just gonna walk him over here to the edge of the road and let him continue on his way. Okay, now I'm getting mussed. He wants to go back. No, you made it across. Go. Go. God dang it. Guess we're going to the wood line. Here. I'm trying to release you, brother. There you go. What a pain. That one bit me and mussed me. There we go. Ha ha ha, look at you. Beautiful pygmy rattlesnake is our first snake after dark, and one of the things that I was really hoping we'd see tonight. What a great start. Look at this guy. Tiny little rattle there on the end. You can see starting to move a little bit. So we're gonna get him off the road and we'll get a better look at him. All right, ladies and gentlemen, well, that is exactly what I was hoping we would find crossing the road tonight. A beautiful small adult Carolina pygmy rattlesnake. These are one of the rarer snakes around here. There are plenty of places in the Georgia Piedmont where they're fairly common, but this is not really one of them. It requires a lot of work for me to find one of these snakes here locally, but when they're moving, they're normally moving in pretty good numbers. And it's more about finding the right night that they're out and finding the right microhabitat. If you can nail down two of those factors, they tend to be pretty detectable, but getting those things to line up properly can be a real pain. But what a fantastic looking little snake. Not the most vibrant pygmy, but still such a beautiful combination of colors and patterns. They're definitely my favorite viper in the US and one of my favorite snakes in the country. Something I'll never get tired of seeing, and hopefully we'll be seeing plenty of these guys over the next couple months. Fall generally tends to be the best time, but early summer, like around this time, can be really good too. But a fantastic snake to start the After Dark movement with. Hopefully there will be plenty more snakes out tonight. Pretty much every time I come road cruising locally, I'm looking for these guys and mole kings, and they're both pretty tough to find. I'll put the more direct light on him so you can see his color. I'm not sure if it comes out better with the direct flashlight or with the video light. But either way, a fantastic little snake and exactly what I was hoping we'd see tonight. And we've still got the whole night ahead of us. So I'm going to take some quick pics of this guy and we're going to keep moving. Beautiful Carolina pygmy rattlesnake to start the night. Or at least the nighttime hours. We saw a couple rats before it got dark, which is always nice. It's usually a good sign if you start seeing snakes before it even gets dark here. Well, I had barely moved from the pygmy, and here's our next snake of the night, a beautiful little copperhead. This guy's super tiny still got that bright yellow tail on the end, and really cool twin spotting pattern. Look at those very even spots down his back. Really good looking little snake. So snakes seem to be moving in good numbers right now. I'm going to try to keep this as fast-paced as I can. We're going to move this little guy out of the road and keep at it. But beautiful little copperhead is our next find, right after the pygmy. Well, it had been about 30 seconds after the last copperhead, and I found another one. A gentleman stopped behind me while I was looking at it, and we were talking, so I talked to him for a little bit and didn't mess with it too much. So didn't get any video of that one, but third snake of the night was another copperhead already. Stuff is moving like crazy. Oh man. Oh man. Oh man. Look at that. That is a gigantic scarlet snake, and it is beautiful too. Holy crap, we are having ourselves a night out here tonight. Look at you. Well, it had been a fat minute since we've seen anything. That copperhead that I didn't show, it feels like it's been probably about a half an hour since we found that guy. And then just right here randomly after 30 minutes or so of nothing, a giant scarlet snake sitting in the road. These are one of my favorite local snakes to find, and to find one this big and just beautiful is fantastic. It's not very often I get to see them at this size, and definitely not around here. There's definitely some places in their range where it's a lot more common to see big ones, but that is by far the biggest I've ever seen here. These snakes are typically most active this time of year, late May, early June from my experience, and then they'll be very active well into midsummer and July and even early August, but around mid-August they start to kind of disappear and you don't see them as much because there's not as many eggs in the ground. But very awesome snakes, always makes the night. But I mean, we've had a couple of highlights tonight. That big rat snake was awesome, and then of course the pygmy. But just a stunning scarlet snake, really, really awesome. I'm hoping there's still more in store for us tonight. It's still fairly early. It's not even 10 o'clock yet, so I'm just gonna escort this guy off the road, get a couple quick photos, and then we're going to keep moving. All right, we have got this beautiful snake off the road, and we're just gonna let it crawl away into the forest. But fantastic looking northern scarlet snake. What a stunning thing to find crossing the road in this part of Georgia. We don't have scarlet king snakes in this area, so that's the best you're gonna get when it comes to a tricolor in this area we're in tonight. A big, beautiful northern scarlet snake. Well, we're just gonna let this girl crawl off the road and get back to it. Well, it's been a while since the scarlet, but here's our next snake. That is a really handsome little rat snake. Look at his neck. Beautiful. Well, that is our third rat of the day. First one after dark, though, and it's a little juvenile. We see these guys all the time. One of the more common snakes we see on the road after dark, so we're just gonna let him keep on cruising, and we're gonna do the same. But nice little rat snake is our next find. All right, guys, well, I haven't seen anything since the rat snake. There's some tree frogs calling right there, but it just hasn't been very active numbers-wise since dusk. Just the one rat snake and scarlet snake, which I'm not gonna complain about that at all. I'm always happy to see a scarlet snake, and any night with a pygmy or a scarlet is a great night in my opinion. So I'm happy with how we did, but it's getting kind of late and there doesn't seem to be much moving late right now. But it was really weird that we had that big burst of movement right at dusk. 2 copperheads, one of which I didn't get to show, and then the pygmy. But wow, what a fantastic night. I'm gonna start making my way home, and if I see anything else, I'll stop, but if not, I will probably see you tomorrow.